Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to cover the topic about wiring harness coverings. So, why are coverings required for wiring harnesses, and what are the types of wiring harness coverings used in the market and in the industry? So, let's start with why is a covering required during design phase. The major point is to protect the wire from dust and water. So whenever a wire harness is in use, so it may be onto any applications like automotive, industrial, and military use also. So it is very important for the long life of the harness to protect it from dust and water. So this is one point for using wiring harness coverings. Also, it protects the wire from temperature fluctuations. So whenever during outdoor use, temperatures can rise up to plus 50 degrees Celsius and up till minus 40 degrees Celsius during the application. So to protect the wire harness, we can use protective coverings, reduce chances of wire cut, as the wires will be covered with a covering material. The chances of getting the wire cut are very less. Increase mechanical strength and electrical protection to humans. This is a very important point, as all the covering material is usually an electrical insulator. The chances of getting electrical shock to the person or some user nearby are very less. Other point is to protect the wire harness from fire and ease of installation and maintenance. So this is also a very important point, because installing each and every wire separately is a very difficult task, and it can get messed up visually also, as well as for the technician to perform his operation. Another point is to improve the aesthetic and visual appeal. So using a covering gives you a form and a visual look to the wire, and it becomes easier for the user to distinguish the wire from the environment. And other point is protection from puncture and mechanical damage. So as we said, mechanical strength of the wire also gets improved due to using wire harness coverings. And last point is EMI/EMC protection. So EMI/EMC protection means electromagnetic interference and electromagnetic conductance. So these are the little bit of technical points. So whenever a wire harness is nearby to a sensitive electronic component, due to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, the wire can induce electronic noise into the nearby, yeah, electronic components, which may reduce the performance, or the component may get damaged in a in a special case. So the covering also helps with reducing EMI/EMC noise of that wiring harness. So these are the covering advantages, and let's look at the types of covering material used in the industry. So first is the insulation taping. So insulation taping is nothing but a simple insulation wire used normally during our electrical tapes and household as well as automotive applications. So this is a very basic type of covering used as a base layer for protection. So this is a wire harness with a exposed cable. So for installing the insulation taping, we just have to rotate the taping around the wire harness. So in this way the taping is applied. So this process is done by machines and skilled technicians on the production floor for the wire harness. So in this way, insulation taping is done for any type of wiring harness. So this is a very basic type of protection used during manufacturing process. So the other type of covering is the corrugated tube, or it is also called as cot tube. So cot tube is usually looks like this and is available readily in the market. So it is used in automotive, non-automotive, industrial, home appliances. Every type of wiring harnesses can use the the cot tubes. And the cot tubes special thing about it is very flexible, and also the stretchability is also very good. So the important point to while choosing the cot tube is the diameter of the hole. So the diameter should be always greater than your wire harness outer diameter. So as you can see here, the cable is very small for this cot tube. So this cot tube is ideally not suitable for this size of wire. So we will require lesser size of cot tube diameter for this wire. This is about the corrugated tube. And another special thing about it is very useful during outdoor use. So as it gives a mechanical strength, as you can see, even applying force onto it, it doesn't get bent easily. So the wire inside remains protected from the mechanical shocks or punctures. So usually it is used during automotive applications. The other type of covering is called as a spiral wrap. So spiral wrap is nothing but a flexible plastic material which is used for covering the wire harnesses. So if this is a cable, then applying spiral wrap onto it is very easy. And as you can see here, just need the covering needs to be rotated around the wire. So this can be done for multiple bunch of wires. So in this way, spiral wrap is applied. So this is a type of protection on the wire harness. This type of protection is used in control circuits where exposure to exterior environment is limited. And this this type of covering also helps with the flexibility of the cable. And the size of the spiral wrap should be chosen accordingly to your application. So other type of covering is a heat shrink tube, which we will cover later. And other point is clot tube, which I will explain in the coming time. So this is the expandable sleeving. So expandable sleeving is a very special material used during wire harness covering. So as you can see here, this is a very special item used for wiring harnesses. So the main thing about it is the flexibility of the expandable sleeving. So whenever a wire has to be passed through it, as we can see here, it is very easy to install, and the protection given by it is also very robust in comparison to the other types of covering materials in the market. This type of covering material is little bit more expensive than the other counterparts like insulation taping, corrugated tube, spiral wrap, and heat shrink tube. But it is a very good solution for robust coverings. So the last type of covering is a cable tray. So cable tray is nothing but a plastic part through which the cables are passed. So here I have shown only one type of wire through this cable tray, but in practice there are many wires through a single cable tray. So There are two advantages. First advantage is you will get a special track for laying out your harnesses, and the second one is the coverings. So after using the covering, it the visual aspect of that wire harness is very good, and this type of covering is mainly used in industrial applications and control panels. Uh, It is usually not used and recommended in automotive applications, as it takes up lots of space, as well as it is very heavy in comparison with the other types of covering materials like expandable sleeving and heat shrink tubing. So this is the cable tray. After this, let's look at clot tapes and heat shrink tubes. So as we discussed earlier, so this is a bunch of wires together, and the spiral wrap is applied across it. So as you can see here, it gives a very uniform look to the wire harness, as well as is used for protection purposes. So here is the heat shrink tube. So after application of heat onto this tube via a heat gun or a lighter or any type of heat source, the heat the plastic part of this heat shrink tube gets sucked onto the exterior of the wire. Hence you get a very better grip and long lasting covering for the wiring harness. And the last type of covering material is the cloth tape. So cloth tape is similar to the insulation tape, and it is used for its flame retardant properties, as it is UL 94 rated. It has very good fire protection. So the main applications of the cloth tape is during automotive and as well as military applications. This is about the cloth tape. So cloth tape comes in various types of color as per your application, and installing the cloth tape is also very easy and similar to the insulation tape installation. So if we go to MacMaster Car, which is a well-known website for all mechanical and hardware components, here we can see the electrical part. So here is one section called sleeving. So when we open sleeving, we'll get to see all types of wiring harness covering materials. So here are the expandable sleeving which we saw earlier. So there are many types of sleeving materials available in the industry market. So this is a regular sleeving material. This is fray resistance. Fray resistant expandable sleeving. So tight braiding makes this sleeving resistance to fraying when cut with scissors. So this is a type of anti-cut expandable sleeving. So this is a particular application for this covering. So this is high temperature expandable sleeving, and this is interference shielding. So as we saw, the EMI EMC protection can be given through this interference shielding expandable sleeving. So like this, there are multiple types of expandable sleevings available: chemical resistant, slip resistant. So for tube sleeving, there are again multiple types of sleevings available: high temperature electrical, insulating, chemical resistant, high temperature tube sleeving, spark resistant, and extra thick. So as per your application, you have to decide a particular material for your design. So again, fiberglass, high temperature sleeving, high strength, abrasion resistance. So here are some wraparound sleevings available. So this is with a zip tie for ease of installation. This is with a snap close like our raincoat buttons. This type of covering can be used for our wiring harnesses. So this is the corrugated sleeving, and which we saw here. Um, there are multiple types of corrugated sleevings available: flame retardant, high strength, low profile for a square look, hinge interlocking. So this is a two piece cut tube material. Uh, Here also you can see. Other type of sleeving is the tape sleeving. So similar to the insulation tape and cloth tape. This is the tape sleeving. So another type of covering is the heat shrink tubing. So there are again multiple types of it. Uh, so this is normal. This is extra thick heat shrink ratio. So the ratio in the heat shrink tube is the before and after size of that heat shrink tube. So if you use a 10 mm diameter heat shrink tube before shrinking, the diameter after shrinking becomes 5, so the ratio becomes 2 is to 1. So in similar way, the ratio is given here: high heat shrink ratio, so extra thick miniature heat shrink tubing, easy to remove. So these are multiple types of heat shrink tubes available in the market. You can check this all the types on this website, McMaster Car. This is special heat shrink tube for sealing moisture. So yes, these are all the types of covering materials, and the applications of it I have also explained. Thanks for watching.